Okay guys, so let's just try this over. So let's start with an easier problem, just so we can kind of get in the hang of it. So I have 5/12 minus 8/30. So we know there's not common denominators, so we need to get common denominators. But I need to see what would be the least common denominator. So I'm going to try to break up 12. I know 12 is 2 times 6, 2 is prime. 6 is 2 times 3, prime, prime. So I know 12 is just 2 times 2 times 3. Same thing for 30. I know that 30 is 2 times 15, 2 is prime. 15 is 3 times 5, 3 is prime, 5 is prime. So I know 30 is really just 2 times 3 times 5. Okay, so going slow, I'm just going to rewrite my denominators as 5/12. Instead of 12, I want to put 2 times 2 times 3 minus 8 over 30 broke down into 2 times 3 times 5. Okay, so I need to find what is my least common denominator. So I know that they both have a 2 and they both have a 3. Okay, so I know that's going to be in it. So my LCD, least common denominator, there's going to be a 2 and there's going to be a 3. And then I have this 2 left over, and I have that 5 left over. So they still go into my denominator. So multiplying this out, I get 2 times 3 is 6, times 2 is 12, times 5 is 60. So 60 would be my least common denominator. So going back, this just helped me find my LCD. Okay. So now going back to my 5/12 minus 8/30. So I know now that my least common denominator is 60. So how do I make my 12 turn into 60? Well, I know 12 times 5 is 60. So multiply by 5. What I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. So now this becomes 25 over 60. So minus, and how I make this 30/60, well, times 2. What I do to the top, have to do to the bottom, or vice versa, whatever. So multiplying fractions, multiply across. So 8 times 2 is 16 over 30 times 2 is 60. Okay, well now I'm good to go because now I have a common denominator of 60. And then subtract across. So 25 minus 16. And that gives me 9. So 9 over 60. Okay, so there's my answer, but can this be simplified? Well, I know that the 3 goes into both of them, so 9 is just 3 times 3. Over 60 is 3 times 20. Hey, look, there's a fancy 1. Cancel that out. So I have 3 over 20. So can this be simplified? No, so this would be my final answer. So 3 over 20. Okay, so now let's look into something with a little more complicated with algebra. So I have 6 over x plus 2 times x minus 2 minus 3 times x minus 2. So I need to find my LCD, my least common denominator. So I know this one can't be broken down. It's already broken down for us. So x plus 2, x minus 2. And I have x minus 2. Well, my LCD, they both have x minus 2 in common, so I know that's going to be in there. And this one also has an x plus 2, which I can make this one x plus 2, x minus 2 easily by just multiplying by x plus 2. And this one's already there. So I know my LCD is x plus 2, x minus 2. Okay, so here's already my x plus 2, x minus 2. that is my LCD. So I don't have to do anything to this one. So it just comes 6 minus x minus 2, and there's a 3 on top. So how do I make this fraction have my LCD? Well, it's missing the x plus 2. So I'm going to multiply by x plus 2. And I have to multiply by only a 1. So I need what I did to the bottom, I have to do to the top. Okay. So moving right along, I have 6 over x plus 2, x minus 2, minus 3 times my x plus 2 over x minus 2, x plus 2. I know multiplication can go either way, so x plus 2, x minus 2 is the same thing as x minus 2, x plus 2. So now I have my common denominator of my LCD. And so now I have my common denominator, so I can just subtract across. So 6 minus 3x plus 2. Okay, so now I'm good to go. Everything's in one big fraction. But I need to simplify, so I'm going to distribute my negative 3. So I get 6 minus 3x minus 6 over x minus 2x plus 2. Okay, combining like terms. So I have a 6 minus a 6, well that's 0. And then I have my minus 3x, so negative 3x over x plus 2, x minus 2. Okay, can anything simplify here? No, it's negative 3 times x, x plus 2, x minus 2. Nothing can be simplified, so there is my final answer. So, okay, let's do another one. So I have x times x over, or let me start over. I have 6 over x squared plus x minus 6 minus 3 over 2x minus 4. So I'm going to go ahead and break down or factor the denominators to see what we actually have. So this is a quadratic, so I know I need to do my AC method. So my a times my c is negative 6. My b is 1. So blank times blank equals negative 6. Blank plus blank equals positive 1. So I know in these blanks need to go a 2 and a 3. This is a negative, so I know one of them has to be negative. This is a positive, so my smaller one has to be negative. So negative 2 times 3 is negative 6. Good. Negative 2 plus 3 is positive 1. So I'm good to go. So I have x squared minus 2x plus 3x minus 6. Group my first two, group my last two. GCF of the first two is x, so x times x minus 2. GCF of the second two is 3, so plus 3 x minus 2. So my two factors are x plus 3, x minus 2. So that is my first denominator factored. My second denominator, I now have a GCF of 2. So 2, and then what's left over, x minus 2. So I'm going to rewrite these fractions just to make it look a little prettier. I have 6 over x plus 3, x minus 2, minus 3 over 2, x minus 2. Okay, so I do not have common denominators, so I have to get common denominators. So what is my LCD? Well, they both have a x minus 2, so I know that's going to be in it. Okay, and I have this x plus 3 out here, so now that's going to have to be in it. And then, so that's taken care of, that's taken care of. I have this 2, so somewhere there's going to have to be a 2. And then I have this x minus 2, which is already taken care of. So I have my LCD of 2 times x minus 2, x plus 3. Okay, so I need to make my first denominator my LCD. So what is missing? Well, a 2 is missing out front. So I'm going to multiply by 2. What I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. And then I have 2 times 6 is 12 over 2, x plus 3, x minus 2, Good to go. And then what's missing from my second denominator? Well, I have my 2, I have my x minus 2, but I need my x plus 3. So I'm going to multiply by x plus 3. What do I do to the bottom? Have to do to the top. Okay, so now let's rewrite the second fraction as negative 3 times x plus 3 over 2, x minus 2, x plus 3. Okay, so I have my common denominators now because multiplication can go in any order. So my common denominator is 2x plus 3, x minus 2. And then now that I have my common denominator, I can subtract across, so 12 minus 3x plus 3. Remember how to keep my parentheses, so that way I remember to distribute. So I'm going to go ahead and distribute my 3 first, this 3. So I have 12 minus 3x plus 9 over 2x plus 3, x minus 2. Okay, now distribute my negative. So I get 12 minus 3x minus 9 over 2x plus 3, x minus 2. Okay, combining like terms. So I have this 12 minus 9. So 9, 10, 11, 12 is 3. Minus 3x. I don't know why I did a bracket there. Over 2x plus 3, x minus 2. Okay, perfect. So I can see that I need to simplify because everything's all together now. So my GCF at the top is 3, and I'm left with 1 minus x over 2x plus 3, x minus 2. Nothing seems to cancel, so this is totally simplified. That's my final answer. Alrighty. So let's move on. I've got plenty of examples here. Okay, so next example. 3 over x plus 2 minus 2x over x squared minus 4. I see that I do not have common denominators, so I have to make common denominators. So let's break it up. So I have x plus 2, that's completely broke up. Good to go. Then I have x squared minus 4. So I know this is a perfect square, so I know it's x plus 2, x minus 2. Bingo. Okay, so this denominator is x plus 2, and then I have x plus 2, x minus 2. So looking for my LCD. Least common denominator. So they both have an x plus 2. So this one's taken care of, and then I have an x minus 2. So that's okay. So I'm going to put that there, x minus 2. So I have my LCD and I'm good to go. So my first fraction is 3 over x plus 2. And I need to have my LCD of x plus 2, x minus 2. Well, I have already my x plus 2, but I need x minus 2. So I'm going to multiply by x minus 2. What I do to the bottom, have to do to the top. X minus 2. And minus 2 over, I know this is x plus 2, x minus 2.